What feels impossible for you right now?
At least doubling the business.
Do you feel comfortable dying and knowing that you could have done so much more and you had everything you needed to do so much more?
I don't feel comfortable. I mean, that's the reason I'm here.
This is a powerful conversation that I had with my client where I deeply challenged his thinking about his ability to grow his business. My client is a high performer running a multi-million-dollar operation, but like many high performers, his success is actually holding him back from his next level of success. Will he manage to find the inner resources to grow his business, or will he choose to stay in his comfort zone? Let's find out.
What needs to happen for you to be able to double your business in time?
So obviously, if I increase sort of my chemical line of products, and it's easier said than done. Like I've been trying to do it constantly, but it seems not that easy. Like it's just not easy. I've done it. Like we constantly do it. We're even doing it right now as we speak. Like we have a new warehouse expanding, and but even though you do so, like you got to do it very carefully, like really, really carefully. I mean, maybe we're too careful, but
Interesting. So it's something difficult, right? Let's take it
yeah.
one by one. Number one, difficult. Number two, you need to be careful. Number three, there's risk involved.
Yeah, the risk is basically you losing money because it's a wrong chemical. It's the wrong type of chemical, because sometimes it's the right chemical, but it's the wrong configuration. It's the wrong specs.
Exactly.
So that's the risk.
Have you written these down, these elements?
Yeah, I'll write it down.
So risk, got to be careful, and it's not easy. Great.
Yeah.
You started telling me why you didn't do it yet.
Oh yeah. So what sort of like intrigues me is on the stock market. If you're a CEO of a company, even if it's a small company that is publicly listed, the founders or people who are investing will expect you to grow 20% an annum. They'll be like, look, man, you have to increase your business by 20% an annum. Somehow you got to show me a 20% an annum projection, or you show me the money of 20%. So I don't care what you do, right?
Right.
So you're so forced to do it. And because you have other people's money and your own money, somehow they just do it. Like these good guys just do it. Like if you look at some of these larger companies, Google, Tencent, Alibaba, whatever, like they actually do it. I mean, they know how to go forward. It's like 20%, 30% annum. But for us, the problem is like when we look at the balance, if we look at the profit and loss end of the year, and we see we're in profit, and we see everything, it's okay. We're just like, no, we'll just manage the same thing next year because we've done it for 5 years. So if we increase by 5% or 2% or zero, what difference does it make?
Right.
So
I had a
it's that,
sense.
I don't know.
I had a sense that this was the reason why. Please write this down. The biggest obstacle to your next level of success is your current success.
Correct. The fear of loss also, maybe.
And sometimes you have to be willing to sacrifice what you have for what you will get.
Correct.
But that takes
Sacrifice.
guts, right?
Takes
That takes courage.
A lot of courage. It's not only guts and courage. It's just like if I don't have that kind of conviction, if it doesn't feel like the conviction is high, like in what I'm doing now, my conviction is very high. So when I look at percentages, like my rate of success in my mind is like literally 100%. Right. So I'm willing to put money down on it because I know the rate is 100%. But for somebody else, it might be high risk, but for me, it's not. So until I don't reach that level of conviction, it's very difficult for me to push forward, you know?
Exactly. It's
So yeah,
like your box is right here where you feel comfortable. Somebody else's box can be like this where they feel comfortable,
right.
right? So in order for the business to double, the box needs to double.
Right. Double the box.
Double the box. Double the box, double the business.
Correct. Actually, you know, the strange thing is that like I see it like this. My If I double the box, actually it's not double the business. The way I see it, it's triple the business. And the reason is because all the the fixed costs are here. Okay. The more I exponentially increase, right? It's literally all gravy after that. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly, you know?
You don't need to, as long as
Yeah.
it's clear to you and it feels like it is clear to you, right? So
Yeah.
let's write that down. Double the box, triple the business. As a high performer, you have exponential impact. So to me, that makes sense. Double the box, triple the business. In time, it's going to be quadruple, quintuple, so on and so forth.
Right. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. So how do we double the box?
Yeah, that's been what I've been trying to think about
We get
all last
uncomfortable.
years.
We get uncomfortable. We
Yeah.
start the day
Um,
with the shit that feels scary.
yeah, it's not easy. I mean, yeah, of course, you increase the chemical line and, you know, give more credit in the market, you know, open a new business that's surrounding that business, increase product line, more clients.
Hmm.
Those are sort of obvious moves, but like, um, I'm looking for the unobvious, really. Like, it's just, I don't know.
It can be a mixture of both. It doesn't need to be some kind of, unheard of thing that nobody's thought of. Like a mixture of both is healthy. In my approach, I have a mixing structure that I got from others and things that just come to me naturally and things that come to me in the moment that I have no idea where they come from, right?
Mm,
So it's a mix. You don't need to be the next whatever, invents something totally radical, totally new. That's not the thing. I would even
mhm.
go as far as saying that you're kind of using that as an excuse to stay where you are because it's like, oh, I
Sure.
haven't figured out that different thing yet. So I'm just going to keep things as they are. You know what I mean? Instead
Correct.
of doing what's in your power to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my power. In the resources. It's all these other things. But like, you know, it's
Hmm.
tough. Like, I mean, let me think about it more. Like,
Can I share a story with you?
sure.
I joined this YouTube course with this tremendous community of YouTubers. This is something very important to me. It's a dream of mine. And I was talking about like which direction to go in with my channel. What kind of videos to make. Should I make more funny sketches? Should I make like deeper dive challenges, stuff like that, right? And the best advice I got is, look, you're not. We can sit and talk about this for hours, but unless you start doing and you just start, doing what's in your power right now and testing out different videos and seeing which one works for you and which one feels well and which
Yeah,
one people react to, you're not going to know, right?
correct.
I came up with these funny sketches that's something that's like, nobody does this in my niche really on YouTube.
Yeah,
But I came to that point just by making videos. So you're not going to find the unique thing if you don't start with what's in your power right now.
yeah, correct. Just
Right?
move. Basically, you have what's in your power, and you think it's working to a certain degree, and you just go with it. You know.
Yeah. You test, you do what you can, you test, and then, you're gonna notice new things popping up, but that's not the thing that's stopping you right now, right? So let me ask you this: when you were in that situation when you had to figure things out, right, and it felt like you were starting from scratch, you were starting, the business from nothing. How did you grow? How did you expand your box?
Well, I never really started the business from nothing anyways. Like it's sort of
But
like,
it felt that way, right? Because you
yeah,
said
it felt that way.
you're living frugally,
Correct. Correct.
so you had to figure things
Um,
out.
I mean, the first thing I did was like, I focused on actually sort of costs that sort of like I could get rid of. Like an example was like in the same building I'm in right now. Um, on the 11th floor, my dad had a unit,
Hmm.
and that unit was like, I don't know, not so big, maybe like a 600 or a 700 square feet unit, and he was using it as a storage room. Okay, now this is like, and if you know where I am in Hong Kong, it's like right in the center of the commercial district.
Right.
So in my mind, the first thing I thought of was like, let's get this stuff out of the storage room, put it in a very cheap warehouse somewhere, like, far
Hmm.
away, and rent
Hmm.
this for 1,000 or 2,000. Sorry, about $2,000 a month, or it's a bit more than $2,000 a month, but like whatever. But and immediately, I pocket the difference of, and that place is 150 US, and this is 2,000. You know, so I pocket that difference. And the next one I was doing was, we had a lawyer on retainer. So there was a particular lawyer that we don't really use that much. It was maybe like
Hmm.
3 times a year at the maximum, on a retainer of like, I don't know, 1,300 US a month, right, on a
Right,
retainer.
right.
And I pretty much went to the lawyer and said, look, you know what, we will use you when we
Is needed.
require you,
Yeah.
when it's needed. And I was and when it's needed at that given point, I would see prices of other lawyers and other things. It would just, for what you need, it would be like, let's say 700 US, 800. So I said, if I paid this 3 times a year, it would be less than 12,000 US
Right.
or whatever a year. It would be maybe 3,000 US a year or 4,000. So I'm saving 8,000.
Do
So
you see how
slowly I did that.
creative you are?
Yeah. Right. Just a little bit of sometimes just moving in the right direction is important.
Right. So the difference was not necessarily your ability to find solutions and be creative. The difference then was your why. You had a stronger why, right?
Correct. Correct.
I have to figure this out. And now life
Yeah.
is comfortable, life is good, things are
Yeah.
going.
That's true. That's true. You don't have to.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think it's almost like a drive in your belly that you want to, like, you like really want to grow. And that's not easy. Like, even like, you know, even as a fighter, like if I watch MMA. So if you win 39 fights and you had to win your 40th fight, how do you have that same level of that fire in your belly? It's not easy to find. I can't just grab it from somewhere. Like
exactly.
you're equally good fighter at 39 when you were 40. Even if you lost one fight, you're an equally good fighter. But like, to have that drive all the way to the end, or like Cristiano Ronaldo being the best footballer forever. I mean, like, how do you have that sort of? It
And
kind of
what
amazes me personally.
and why do you believe you don't have it?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's not I don't believe I don't have it. Like, I just, because I'm dealing with family money, and it's just,
Hmm.
I think it's because I'm dealing with family money and I'm more careful. I I would rather sort of be in the same place in some form than me lose money. So I'm just playing defense almost always. Like, it's almost like it feels like that. Like, I'm playing defense. I'm not really playing offense, and I could play offense, but maybe I'm just playing defense the whole way. But I'm playing defense in a
So
strategically offensive way, but a very, very slow way.
let me give you another perspective, right? You're playing defense. Yes. You value your family's safety.
Correct.
Yes. You and your brother are protecting your family's safety.
Right.
if I have a, if I'm Khabib, right? And I'm fighting like one of, I'm fighting somebody else, and I'm playing mainly defense, what's gonna happen?
Uh, Two things. Either, you go to the decision and you might win, or you might get knocked out because somebody
Correct.
actually by being, you might get hit at some point.
Correct. Right? So you're not being like you're not using your full potential because your
Correct.
potential is not just defense. Defense is just half of it.
Right.
So what's going to happen if somebody else enters the market who has that fire in their belly and they're playing offense? What's going to happen to you and your family?
No, I don't think that much also, because the reason is because we're in a way, because we're in a branded sort of society, in a brand, we sell brands.
Right.
So it's not like I'm looking at like someone saying that, oh, the competition will take my market away or something.
Mhm.
um it is not likely that can occur that easily, unless we're talking in like time frames of 20 years or something, or 15 years. Um
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, like, ideally it's better to play offensively, just to,
I think that's your
get it
problem.
done.
I think that's your problem. You're in a market with no competition.
No, there's competition.
Hmm.
There definitely is competition, but like, it's like this, Coca-Cola is the only black drink available,
Right.
black colored, black tasting, or like that cola tasting drink in the market. So there's only one person you can go to, is Coca-Cola and probably Pepsi, you know.
Okay.
So I mean, the competition is for there in that segment, yeah. But there's a lot of other drinks. There's a lot of other drinks, but people choose to have Coca-Cola for that specific cause or whatever it is. And you have a number of bottles sold a year of that drink.
Is your competition playing offense or defense?
Is my competition playing offense or defense? Hard to say, actually, because I don't necessarily go in their markets. So like, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Like, I would like to say offense. I would like to say offense, but usually whenever they play offense, it's in the wrong way. So
Okay. Tell me more.
yeah, yeah. Whenever they play offense, is in the wrong way, because they either dilute the price too low and they just kill themselves, or they don't have goods in the market, and they give to the wrong, they
Hmm.
spread out too thin and they give to the wrong clients, and those clients spoil the market again. So it's sort of like, you know I see that over and over again, like, which is why it sort of makes us different, because like, in one way it makes us different because we don't do those mistakes basically. Like, we did those mistakes a long time ago, actually, like a long
Right.
time ago. And uh which really hurt us, like selling to the wrong clients. And so I'll give you the story. So basically, we had a tea. I don't Do you know this item? It's a Muslim tea called ataya. It's Ataia. Okay, so what it is, it's so in England they drink English breakfast. In Morocco they drink mint tea.
Mhm.
In India they drink doodh patti, which is basically a sort of a masala chai, right? But in West Africa they drink this green tea that is dusty. It's called ataya, which is
Mhm.
they drink in about 12 to 15 countries that are Muslim Islamic countries. Also in Christian countries, but mostly Islamic countries. They drink it 4 times or 5 times a day. It's like a shot of espresso, but
Mm,
actually it's green tea, right?
interesting. Hmm.
So this particular item, we were doing this in, like, I would say, in the 90s, in the early 90s. And at that time, there was really less competition, like, to be honest. But then my dad and a few other people, they really pioneered that item. So in Senegal, we were selling this item mostly in few markets, but in Senegal, which is Dakar, which is the West Africa, the deep end of West Africa, French-speaking country, we were
Hmm.
selling this tea in huge volumes. So
Right.
every place you go to the supermarket, you go down the store, you go on the road, you'd see my tea everywhere in every place, no matter what. The problem in that was that if you sold to 5 people, all 5 of them would compete in their price, okay, in the same
Hmm.
jurisdiction. And
Mm-hmm.
what happened eventually, they all killed each other. They sued each other. They were playing games. So what happened was we learned that in every jurisdiction, choose one king and one king only. And no matter how far that king grows, you stick to him because
Mm-hmm.
even if he doesn't have that money, that's fine. Maybe he cannot buy so much, just deal with it. Because if you get two kings, they'll kill each other and they can control the price of that item in that market. So that's what we learned.
What did it cost you to learn this lesson?
Costs us a lot, man, because
Let's
it,
give a number to it.
I would say it cost us. If I look at future forecast,
Mhm.
at that moment, it may have not costed us, right? But
Mhm.
if that item had been selling till today, it would have cost us, I don't know, 10 million US dollars.
And you stopped selling it, right?
No, so we still sell it a little bit there, but the problem is
Mhm.
the volume of scale we were selling it at that point. Now there's a guy that sells the same tea, okay, who who is probably a Lebanese guy, and there are a few people in the market. They're selling it at the same volume we were back in the day. Till today, I go to that market and I show my brand. Everybody knows my brand, but very few
Mm.
people. But since the market has been spoiled so badly, the main buyers don't want to take it anymore because they feel that they're going to get in the same mess.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So for me to put a new brand in that market was not easy. I still sell the same brand, but at a very, very, very low
Low.
volume
Mm-hmm.
in that one country. And if that had kept there, and I'm doing what I'm doing right now, at a future forecast of every year, let's say making 300,000 US or something on that same one product for a number of years. I mean, I can calculate it
Okay.
as like, I don't know, $6 million. I don't know. Like it's very difficult to calculate, but that's a mistake that. I mean, but that is a huge mistake. I don't expect something like this
To occur again, right?
to occur again because that's a really one off. Like it's not something that can happen. Like because this was an item that was selling. It's like Coca-Cola being in a market and then boom, gone. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it was like that kind of way.
So let me show you why you're not gonna lose money. You're not gonna lose that much money. You have so much more experience than you did before.
Correct.
You're not the same person you were. Just the fact that you like when you started, you focused on costs and getting rid of the non-essentials.
Right.
That's a very powerful mindset to have, right? And that sticks with you every step of the way. You're never gonna you know ignore that aspect of you. Um, and you could always have like, an amount of money that you're willing to lose every year. Like it could
Right.
be your learning investment fund, let's say,
Right. Right.
right? Because when you start investing, you should also think of that money as something you're willing to lose as well.
Yeah.
Sure. So what would be a percentage of your yearly income that you could dedicate to you exploring, expanding, testing new things, and just learning? The the growth fund, let's say.
No, like honestly, like I'm willing to like if I really if I really wanted to grow, um, I think like even if I didn't take an income for the year, for the entire year, right,
Hmm.
and literally put that all back into
Yep.
learning,
Yep.
right? Which is a lot of companies do this. They say invest in yourself, right?
Hmm.
I don't take it as losing, but if I
Right.
take the entire year's worth of net profit, which is after my expenses, obviously, because I have to make zero. So
Hmm.
anything past
Hmm.
zero, if I could take the whole years and put it back, I mean, that would last a couple of years. I mean, that would last a couple of years of
Would would your family be okay with that?
um I
Exactly.
think they would to some degree, but like they
Right.
they want to know what I'm doing with it. Like they
Of
will.
course.
I mean,
So what's the percentage of the profits that your family would be like, yeah, man, just use it, test it out. We don't care. You can
yeah,
lose it. I know you're gonna make more.
20%, like a 20-30%. I mean,
Perfect.
that's easy. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. That's a perfect percentage, right? So let's write that down. 20% of the profits, of the yearly profits, is the growth fund. My first ever business mentor, he had a budget for mistakes for each member of his staff, or they give them a budget. Every decision you make, if it costs money, you have a budget to do so. Anything that exceeds this budget for your decisions, you come to me, and just gave him like so much freedom and peace of mind, right? This is your budget for exploring.
Right, right,
Everything that exceeds the budget is a conversation with your family.
right. Or it can
But
be carried on the next year.
yes, correct. There you go.
Yeah, you could roll it. You could be like, okay, I'm already in November. I might as well wait another year, another month. I'll roll it on to Jan,
Beautiful.
something like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're also going to be curious to know how you're exploring, and you can always have these conversations, for sure. Now, you obviously have a fire in your belly when it comes to speaking, podcasting, right? It's very close to your heart. Now, what's going to ignite that fire in your business too?
Yeah. No, actually, it's kind of funny enough, it connects. I'm actually doing this to get the fire, if you think about it. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing it, because I want to basically fall in love with my business again, like in a way,
Yes.
But in a way,
that's
which sort of connects the two.
That's going to happen anyway. Let's amplify that. Let's take it to world-class, high-level, champion-level fire, right? So the podcast is going to fire up your love for your business for sure. But let's say you didn't have the podcast. What else would build up that fire?
If I didn't have the podcast, it would be good if I literally it would be fun if we could go to all our buyers teams and my teams, and take a lot of sort of fun photos and videos and put them together, and so just to show you how far that we have gone in a way. Like we don't really do
To
that,
show me or to show yourself?
Oh, to show me. When I say you, I meant myself.
Beautiful.
So like, because it's funny because yesterday when I showed you that photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing is, it like just to get those guys in one frame, because they're all in different areas, like doing their own thing. It's not easy because just to get them all in one frame, like it looks like you just called and be like, just come and meet me, but like actually getting me in one frame is not an easy job. And there were a couple more people, but like just to actually get the main guys in the one frame, it's not easy. So like I was thinking about it yesterday because my brother went there for a business trip, and I was just like, it would be good to get all the teams in one frame. I mean, and just, it would be fun to sort of play with that,
And here's something interesting. Who do you think needs you to speak the most?
Who needs me to speak the most? Who needs me to speak the most? Probably myself.
Your team.
Well, maybe my team. Yeah.
What if that was your start as a speaker?
So what if that is
your start as a speaker?
My start as a speaker.
What if, like, if you're going down there and you're taking photos with them, right? Why not just have an event where you speak, and not just speak, but have a dialogue with them, share insights, share mindset, share business wisdom, open up the door for their entrepreneurial mind. What if one day they want, like, maybe one or two want to open up a business as well, right? Share the story of, I forgot his name, Salam, was it?
Yeah.
What if there are 2 or 3 more Salams in your team right now? They need you. Share that story.
You're trying to say channel the story, what I'm using for podcasting, for example, to business.
Set up an event. guys, let's meet up. Let's have a talk. Let's have a chat. I have some insights that I want to share. I'm planning on, speaking and helping entrepreneurs
I
in
mean, like
Africa.
I think like yeah, well, event is differently taken. Like I mean, in Europe, like the word event is taken differently, but like in Africa, because these yeah, maybe I can set up an event like in those markets itself, in those individual markets, because it's impossible to get different people from different markets to come in one market and have an event. But like I see your point, like basically like, have a small event or something it is with the whole team.
Do you have all of your team in one place?
No, 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 no.
Would you need to visit multiple locations, or are you planning on visiting one location to take that big photo?
No, so basically it's multiple, like the team you saw, which is it's in East Africa, which is actually in Uganda.
Hmm.
But there's another team, for example, in Conakry, Guinea, right? It's there are many more people because our brand is much bigger there. So
Right.
um and there's another team, let's say in Ghana, you know. So they actually don't really. The strange thing is that none of these guys actually know each other.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
like they don't have any connection in particular. They don't, I mean, besides us as my team in Hong Kong,
And do you want to
we
get
know.
them together?
I
Well,
don't
let
think it's
me ask you
necessary.
this. Like when you said take the photo with the whole team and to show yourself how long, the evolution, what location was that?
Oh, I was looking at it as like individual cities.
Oh,
I
got it.
don't
Like
have.
take photos from all the cities,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
thought
So
you were
let's just
planning to
say,
go there.
no, let's just say, I have a main 5 to 6 cities we do business in mostly, right? Those are the
Hmm.
main ones. The other smaller ones, there's no point going there because there's not much of a business there besides one
Got it.
item that we sell there. So yeah, just going to those 4 or 5 cities, and taking pictures and videos and playing with it,
Yeah.
you know.
I would, yeah, and I would absolutely have a conversation with their staff. Like, for example, I went to my dad's, company, and we had meetings with the staff, the team, and I asked them like what's relevant, like kind of a back and forth speaking, and I kind of gave them some motivation and inspiration as well, right? This is something that I'm just putting on the table for you. Something that probably feels uncomfortable right now, but we can
Yep.
explore a bit later as well. Now, what is something uncomfortable that you could start your day with? Let's say at your 9 a.m. Practice, something that feels uncomfortable that you could start your day with and that will grow your business.
Something that feels uncomfortable that will grow my business.
Something that takes courage.
Oh, it takes courage. Okay. I don't know, man. Like I'm really thinking about it.
Mhm. Step into that fire. Imagine you had that fire in your belly right now and you couldn't stop yourself from growing the business. You had that passion and love for your business. You're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to wake up in the morning, right? What would be the first thing you would do?
Let me write the question.
If you had that fire in your belly, more love than you ever had for your business, how would you start your day? What would you do? Yes. First thing
I
that
think
comes to
like
mind.
the first thing I would do. Okay. I think it would be interesting. It would be uncomfortable, maybe very tough, but it would be interesting to sort of look at other chemical businesses in depth and just read about them. But goddamn, that's boring. Like it's just so boring. Like it's like I don't even know where to start. Like that's the thing, because it's hidden it's sort of a hidden thing, but like it would just be going in depth and understanding what they do. Some of these older chemical, like very established chemical companies in
Right.
France and Germany, you know, and just taking a deep dive in their topics, you know. Yeah,
How would
that's
that help you?
disgustingly uncomfortable. um, how would that help me? Holy shit, probably would really help me because you know, if I read enough, I think, you know, I will probably know the trade a bit better in a way. Because then you become really a pro at like um at expansion of chemical, because chemical, the problem with chemicals is that they're way too many, firstly. Okay, like they're way too many. But if you categorize them in types of chemicals, like cleaning chemicals, agriculture, pharmacy, we don't do pharmacy or agriculture, but we do certain categories of chemicals that we specialize in. So it would be good to sort of know all the names and the bigger companies and learn them and just learn
Right.
what they do.
Yes, that would be super valuable for you, right? Because now you're not, you know, your competition are the big dogs,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
So
well,
it's a new way of
they're too
thinking.
big, but yeah, they're too big. But
That's perfect, right? I'm
yeah,
looking
I
at
mean,
Tony
there's
Robbins and I'm saying, yeah, that's me one day. It's okay,
yeah, yeah. That's
right?
a big, yeah, that's a huge comparison. Yeah, so that's
So, what would make this process super exciting for you?
um, what you mean in terms of me learning about the chemicals?
Yes, about these companies.
What would make it? What did you ask me again? Sorry.
What would make the process exciting for you instead of boring?
Exciting. Okay. I guess if I saw it in forms of videos, it would be easier.
Or
If they were available,
podcasts?
or podcasts, if they're available. But you know, these kind of topics, you know, they're sort of very complex niche topics. They don't really go so much on podcasts. Like it's just so
How do
specific,
you know?
you know. How do I know?
Mhm,
Um, Whenever you go on these topics on the
mhm,
internet, on
mhm,
YouTube or something, it's usually like a very detailed video about like a guy using a formula to mix a few chemicals to open a factory or something, and it's
mhm,
very badly done videos. Like they're like the
mhm.
worst videos. You don't even want to
Right.
watch them, you know.
Are
Like
are the CEOs of these big companies being interviewed on podcasts?
I don't know. I need to find out.
Right.
It'll be
So
interesting to know.
so maybe the first thing to do would be to make a list of 10, 20 of the biggest companies in your industry. Find out who the CEOs are, because that's what you're really looking to learn, that CEO mindset, right? Because you're gonna learn that most of the value that you would get from this research, yes, you're gonna find, let's say, different strategies or, you know, whatever solutions, but you're gonna find that for you, the biggest contribution is just thinking more like these CEOs, right?
Yeah.
Because just like you said, putting yourself in the mind of somebody who has to grow the company by 20% every year, that's going to be exceptionally valuable, right? Because what makes the
Right.
company grow is their level of leadership, is their ability to communicate, is their ability to step back and find creative solutions to current problems,
Mhm.
right? Is their ability to hire powerful people who are smarter than they are. That's going to be the added value for you. Learning to put yourself in the shoes of somebody like that.
It would be interesting. You know what I haven't really sort of I haven't explored actually is it'd be interesting to know, not actually hire, but not hire. I mean, because I have some of them actually working for me in those
Mm-hmm.
markets.
Mm-hmm.
So I like them in those importing markets. But it'd be interesting to know what kind of guys are in this business on the exporting side.
Write it down.
Yeah, on the exporting side. No, the guys working, not like so those guys that are paid like, I don't know, $10,000 a month or something, working for those kind of guys. It'd be interesting to know what they. I mean, I don't know them, but it's hard to get. I don't know how to meet them, but it's like I can take them for an interview and sack them later on. But
You can reach out to them. You already stand out as a business owner with your mission. That's going to open the door with
yeah,
a
I mean,
lot of
because
people.
some of these guys who get this kind of money, for a chemical business as an exporting, like I mean, I can't. I can't bring a guy like him over because I don't have that kind of volume where like I want to pay a guy like him for it.
Right.
Yeah, I would rather get someone on admin and like I can deal with it myself and my brother and we'll manage it.
Yeah.
But like it'd be interesting to know because like he would know all the angles. Like you would know how to play the game better, and he has expectations from his boss, and his boss would be probably a very rich guy. You know.
You can have a sit down. A lot of people are happy to share their wisdom. You can have a sit down with a person like that and just, talk. Ask them, how do you think? Right?
Yeah, I
Me
mean,
and my brother want to be better at this.
yeah, I mean, it's also because when I speak to some suppliers who are in this business on as suppliers from manufacturers,
Mhm.
like this guy came to my office and he very interesting guy, like like
Yeah.
very interesting people, and also like it's funny because some of these guys that are doing this business, it just comes natural to them how big they can grow this business, you know and that's the reason I don't really talk about the food segment so much,
Mhm.
because the food segment is a very diluted industry. And what I'm trying to say is diluted is because Africa market works in that way, the quality of the foods keep going down over
Mm,
time.
mhm.
So and it's sort of like because we have these brands in the market, it runs. So that's why I just talk about the chemical part, because the chemical is more specific and the foods are
That's
good.
cool.
Food business is good. That's why I said growth, in my view, is the chemical part.
That's cool.
Not the food part.
So,
Uh,
how are you going to start your day from now on?
I mean, probably. I mean, I might just, I might just start and just digest it. Maybe start with 10 minutes of digesting disgusting information that maybe that might not,
It
it may
doesn't.
not be disgusting,
Mhm.
or maybe I could just try to find a place or a website of this kind of information that is not so disgusting, like maybe enjoyable to read to some degree.
Yeah, I don't particularly enjoy reading either. I would much rather watch a video or listen to a video in my or a podcast in my earphones. To me, it's faster. Or I would, just listen to audiobooks. So to me, like reading is an effort,
Yeah,
right?
it's a huge effort for me too. Actually, I
Yeah,
like listening, same as you. Yeah.
exactly, right? So personally, to make the process fun as well, right? And start to get you out of your comfort zone, just make that list of the top 20 people you want to get like in their mind, right? It could be CEOs of high level companies in your industry, it could be experts in exporting. Just make a list of the people that you want to really, really pick their brains. And C, try to look for interviews where they speak. And you're going to see that if they're featured on one podcast, they're going to be featured on many, right? So you're going to have multiple touch points with them. And start your day with that.
Yeah, just
Okay?
go to that specific sort of information. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just choose the medium you love and, digest it that way.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is chemicals is like when you say medium that you love, it's not something that I love in terms of listening. I don't know how to explain this. Like it's kind of
Hmm.
like I I don't know how better to say this, but like but there's really not that interesting stuff to talk about unless like he's talking about something else and how he got to something. I mean, of course, there's some things that's
It
surrounding the
probably
business,
is. It probably
right?
is.
Like the
But
direct business is actually kind of a core, like very sort of you know difficult,
Listen,
specific
just do
business.
do your research and start, and then we'll take it from there. We'll see
Yeah, I mean, we'll look
how
at it. We'll look at it.
relevant this is for you. But the benefit of this is doing something uncomfortable every day, starting with the frog,
Yeah,
being
yeah,
that person who has that fire in your belly.
correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, yeah,
How do you
yeah.
feel
I
about that?
think, yeah, I think it will, to some degree, like you do it enough and like, like dedicate. I think it's discipline in a way. Like you dedicate a number and a time. Let's just say it's 20 minutes, okay?
Hmm.
And you go through that 20 minutes just going through the stuff that you usually don't go through, you know, maybe you'll land somewhere, I guess.
Dude, get into the mindset of the MMA fighter. Training is not comfortable. It's not
It's
supposed to be
definitely,
comfortable, right?
yeah,
So look forward to it, right? Look forward to working out.
yeah, yeah.
That's greatness, right?
I mean,
Now,
yeah, I mean, generally, working out is not necessarily something that's super enjoyable. But for some people, they don't mind it, like But once you get through that first 5-10 minutes of
mhm.
it, you just be like, you know what, I'll do 45 minutes. I'll do an hour.
The discomfort, like, look, I started my day with something that I don't 100% enjoy, I'm good at, right? Like, for example, I don't enjoy that much reaching out to people and creating conversations, right? It's important for my business.
Correct.
I would much rather, have this huge YouTube channel and people coming to me than me kind of going to them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I noticed that if I put it off and I leave it towards the end of the day, starting it is so fucking hard, right? Whereas in the morning, whenever I did it in the morning, it just felt easier because like in the morning, your willpower is limited. It's a finite resource. It's a finite daily resource, right? And your willpower is strongest in the morning. If you eat the frog in the morning, the rest of your day is going to be fun.
Right.
Whereas if you're doing it later, you're always dreading your day because you think, oh shit, I have to do the thing, even though you're doing the fun things now.
Right. Right. It has to be. I guess it's sort of stacking onto the most unfun things first,
Yes,
and then just getting it over and done with. You know,
yes,
and eventually you might get something out of it. Basically.
you will. You
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Because it's not so fun.
As a high performer, one insight is worth millions of dollars. And you're getting an insight almost every time you do it. Almost every time you get into the mind of a high level CEO, you're getting insights, right? You're an amplifier. For somebody who's just starting out, one insight is maybe worth a few $100s, right? But in time, with your experience, that one insight amplifies into millions.
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a couple of things people say, and it touches you in the right nerve, and it just suddenly adds up. Um, and then boom, like I remember this because I was in an exhibition, and I was an exhibition in Dubai actually, and I went to the Spain uh, area, the pavilion, the Spain
Mm-hmm.
pavilion, and like I saw this guy selling seasoning powder,
Mm-hmm.
and see it comes in like a square.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's called bouillon cubes, and you just put it in water. It becomes like a broth, and you can put vegetables or meat
Yeah,
inside.
we have those as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I found interesting for me particularly was when I asked him for the price. I first tasted it, and
Mm-hmm.
he said it's from some part of Spain, and I said okay, cool. And then he gave me the price in euro, and I tasted it, and I calculated the freight, and I realized instantly, in like literally 1 second, that it was a profitable item. Because when I sat there, I was like, this sells for $27 to $31 in those 4 countries that I know. Like I know this. Like I don't even need to even think about it. So when I looked at it, and then me and my brother talked to this guy. We went around a pavilion, going around, and all we were talking about is how much money we were going to make buying them. You know, And then we were just going back, and ultimately we took a U-turn after after 6 hours of walking, and we came back because we were walking and look because you have to look at the other pavilions just to take catalogs and everything, and that's cool. Then I walked back and I was just like, I'll place an order like now, like because that's how confident I was. So sometimes it just comes to you, you know, if you know.
I appreciate you for starting more and more to see your capabilities as a business owner.
Yeah, I mean that's why I sort of put these stories in between, just to sort of uh, in to show like basically like you can change, like it's possible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just sometimes a few things and it moves in the right direction. That's it.
So speaking of insights, what is your biggest insight from the conversation so far?
Yeah, I think it's sort of like what you said, based on doing the comfortable thing, but doing the uncomfortable thing, actually I would add to it, to like without distraction, like really focus, because I have way too much distraction going on, and I think like just put it aside and just get on it, like just
Put the
without
phone,
distraction.
put the phone on silent, put it in a cupboard, lock it away, and do
Right,
your thing.
right.
I'm gonna send you a video that I really enjoyed in that sense, with these guys. They uncovered so much more productivity just by staying more away from their phones. Um, cool. Now, in terms of what I saw in the document, and congrats, that's a powerful insight. Yeah, yeah. Focus on, especially like when you go into something uncomfortable and you're fully there, you're like, fuck, I'm a badass.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe with not with
Sometimes in
that
the most
specific.
dangerous and uncomfortable times, it shows the real person who you are. Like sometimes it's like that, and I think that's true. The thing is, you hear all these things, but it's actually not easy to do. You know.
Because you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Or
have
maybe
done it, you
yeah,
have done
but
it, but you're not
but
doing it.
in moments you do it in moments of time when you need to do it, but not because you have to do it. Yeah.
And what's gonna make it from a want to a need for you?
What's gonna make it a want to a need? Um, I think it's gonna be a need if I just probably do it for like a month. It's like anything else. I need to do it for a month, right? Consistently, without fail, day after day. I mean, maybe just not on a Sunday.
Think of it this way. What choice do you have? I mean, do you feel comfortable staying at this level for the rest of your life?
Definitely not. I don't feel comfortable.
Do you feel comfortable dying and knowing that you could have done so much more and you had everything you needed to do so much more?
I don't feel comfortable. I mean, that's the reason I'm here, right?
Yeah. So what choice do you have?
I have no choice, basically.
You have no choice.
And there's no right time as well. It's better to start ASAP.
The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. If you cannot plant it yesterday, might as well plant it today.
Correct.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this powerful conversation. I hope you had some meaningful insights. And quick shout out to Oliver and Kwan. Check out the pinned comment to see their work. And comment below what was your biggest insight from this conversation, along with the link to your social media or website, and I will give you a shout out in the next video. And if you'd like a bit more personalized help from me in terms of overcoming limiting beliefs and achieving your next level of success, there's actually a link in the description where you can apply for a free but powerful and transformational coaching session. And no, it's not going to be a sales call. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by the way, YouTube thinks you're going to really love this video.